Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney. Last time, we had a little deduction spectacular with the one and only Sherlock Holmes. And to find that the passenger next door to us is this lovely little lady, whose name I've already forgotten because it's been a little bit since I recorded the last part. Nikolina Pavlova. Yeah. So she's on the run at the moment. And has stolen her company's tiara. Well, she says it's a present from some big shot dude. But you know. Anyways, now let's actually have a conversation with her. Now that she has shared most of her secrets. So tell us about what happened last night. Did you know that someone was killed in the cabin next door to this one last night? One of the crewmen told me something this morning when I was eating breakfast. Oh yeah, if you've noticed on the bottom right, I have a controller again. I'm not using the keyboard and mouse because I was getting sick of listening to me click the mouse while I was editing. So we're done with that now. The man who died, he was a friend of mine. Oh, that's why we're trying to find out what happened. Did you notice anything unusual last night? Perhaps you heard a strange noise, for example? Perhaps people talking? Perhaps the ship was absorbed in a wild tempest? Perhaps its steam engine exploded? I think we'd be dead if that happened? Perhaps everyone on board would have noticed if that had happened. Miss Pavlova, is there anything you can tell us? I don't know. I'm sorry, but all I could think about last night was what I had done and whether they would find me. I didn't notice anything that was happening around me. Oh, I see. Well, tell us about running away then. You've run away from your ballet company, haven't you? The Novovich Ballet? Yes. I am traveling to Great Britain, and from there, I want to go to America. I will never dance again. I want to forget everything about the ballet. I will start a new life. You wish to forget? A challenging proposition. When you have that striking tiara as a reminder. But the tiara is mine! I need it to live! I've already forgotten my voice for Sherlock Holmes, but, you know. Again, typically I would do a British accent, but I can't really do a British accent now, can I? I have no money of my own. The Novovich Ballet gives us only a little food and water, and we must dance all over the world. I had to run away. I had no choice. If I stayed, it would have killed me. So you ran away to protect yourself? Excuse me. Yes, and the crew of this ship, they have all been kind to me. They let me come on board, and they said I could hide in this cabin. So, we need to ask them some questions then. But that is indeed the truth, Miss Pavlova. It creates a most intriguing conundrum. Yes, it does. What do you think about Mr. Naruhodo? Me? Oh, well, yes, of course. I think we should have Miss Pavlova's explanation. To what conundrum, I'm not sure, but... yeah, tell us more about that. After we ask about your friend, her little pet that she has stowed away on board, which she is not allowed to have. So the friend you mentioned is inside your traveling case, is that right? Yeah, let them out. You're gonna suffocate in there. I don't think animals are allowed on board according to the rules of passage. Oh please, don't tell any of the crew. If they found my precious. Then the burly Russians would bestir themselves in unison to throw you and your case overboard, no doubt. So reassuring, Mr. Holmes. But what sort of pet is your friend? A little puppy? It is, isn't it? Maybe an adorable little rabbit? Ha! You credit Russia as a land with small rabbits, do you? Oh, don't they have small rabbits there then? You may well ask. I have no idea. Huh. Okay, I just heard... I don't know that the bird something like fall somewhere. I don't know if it was in my apartment or outside, because they've been doing construction like this whole week outside at my apartment complex. I mean, they shouldn't be doing anything. I'm recording at night. That's why I'd have recorded earlier, but you know, construction noises. Anyways, that's not important. You two are miserable bunglers when it comes to understanding the nature of young ballerina's friends. Isn't it obvious? It must be a chicken. Really? Consider the benefits. A rousing wake-up call, daily fresh eggs, and when adversity strikes, it could satisfy the needs of sustenance. So you can eat your friends. I'll remember that. That's a no, then. Well, it would appear this friend's identity is a closely guarded secret, not to be revealed. Maybe it's a cat. I don't know. She seems like she would like a cat. She obviously doesn't quite trust us yet. There's something I should like to show her, I think. Maybe she might be able to shed some light on it. I imagine... Here, I'll ask her about the conundrum in just a moment. I imagine she could tell us more about the speckled band that Cosmo was writing about. Here, what do you have to say about that? This is the diary of my friend who passed away. His diary? Yes, and he wrote in it last night before he died. Something a little unusual. It reads, 1:23 a.m., I can hear a faint whistling sound. And then a few minutes later, 1:35 a.m., what looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? I don't understand. It's strange, isn't it? But the ventilator he mentions joins to this cabin, you see. It's up there on the wall. In other words, this cabin and the victim's cabin are connected together. Oh! Miss Pavlova, has something occurred to you? Does the speckled band the victim mentioned mean something to you? Or the whistling sound, perhaps? No? You sure about that? I don't know. I don't know anything. Oh. Now let's ask her about the conundrum. Miss Pavlova, allow me to pose you a riddle. She doesn't seem like she'd be in the mood for one. According to this newspaper, it was only yesterday that you absconded from the ballet. Now, that being the case, it must have been last night that you boarded this vessel. Yeah, that would make sense. However, the SS Burya stopped by no port last night. That's it, of course. So how is it, pray, that you come to be aboard? Now that I think about it, the crewman outside the cabin acted very strangely when he mentioned that. When we mentioned that, I think it was. It was just after we asked him about when the occupant of this cabin came aboard. That is not your business. Yeah. So he obviously knows something. Yes, you're right. He did seem to be hiding something. Yeah. An angel descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to the stage. I'm sorry? What was that? It is how the Russian newspapers described one of my performances. And that is how I came here too. I descended from the heavens, because I am an angel. Are you telling me you flew here? Yeah, okay then, sure. Considering English isn't your mother tongue, your description is very vivid. Mr. Holmes once said, "I can never resist a touch of the dramatic." It seems Miss Pavlova is the same. "A genius descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to detection," words once said about myself. From a wonderfully extravagant advertisement for the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, in fact. Yes, Mr. Shelley. Anyway, it doesn't look like Miss Pavlova is going to tell us what really happened. And that appears to be it. Uh-oh. I think we might have a problem here. Excuse me, Mr. Roylott. Yes, what? Wow, she's fast. Captain would like to speak with you. You must come to the captain's quarters at once, please. All right, I will come now. What? You must leave, now. Oh no, it's fine, don't mind us. Yes, please don't worry yourself, Mr. Roylott. Get out! The passenger said out! Or you want me to throw you out? It looks like we'll have to leave investigating this cabin until later. What a pity. And so we lost our chance. Having still not managed to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin, we were unceremoniously chased out. That's to say, we were quite literally picked up and thrown into the passageway outside. Rude. Oh, wow, I stopped last part earlier than... Whoops. Okay. Oh, sure, we'll save. Yeah, I definitely stopped last part a little early. Earlier than I should have. Oh, well. Well, now what? I wish we hadn't been thrown out like that. I wish we had managed to find some clues to what that speckled band might be. We didn't manage to investigate at all. And I imagine that we won't be able to for a while longer. We'll never get past that sailor guarding the door. He's clearly glaring at us as if to say, don't even think about it. Oh, wait a minute. What is it? Well, what happened to our great detective friend? Where did he go? Oh yes, he's completely disappeared. When did he do that? He slipped away as quietly as the wind, but not before ensuring these were securely back on my wrists. Well, now what? Talk to you. I really wish you had a chance to look around in Miss Pavlova's cabin. What? Why you look like that? You want something? Maybe. You want me to throw you out again, Oh, no, definitely not that. Next time I have to throw you out, I'll show you where lobsters spend winter. Understand? Understand? And maybe I should steer clear of him until he's forgotten my face. I don't think he'll ever forget your face, Naruhodo-san. Well... What now? Look at this door. That door leads to the second class area. It's locked. I can't open it. No, well, that stands to reason. No one wants to let the murderer escape. Gosh, she gave me a very stern look when she said that. First class cabin number 1. Yes, that's our cabin. Not our cabin, it's Cosmo-sama's. Sorry? Your accommodation is confined to the wardrobe inside the cabin. But that's part of the cabin, though. You know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? As small as the wardrobe I've been calling home. Anyway, I wonder if Inspector Hosanaka's managed to uncover any new clues. Yes, we should probably find him and ask. Yeah, there's really no point in staying in the hallway, so we might as well just go back in there. I wonder if this guy can tell us anything. It looks like they're still investigating in here. Yes, on that subject, I wonder if Inspector Hosonaga is unscathed. What do you mean, unscathed? Surely you haven't forgotten, have you, Naruhodo-san? Don't you remember what he said about allowing you out of his cabin to investigate? He was going to talk to the captain about it. He said he'd lay his life on the line for you. Oh, yes. But I'm sure he was exaggerating. Let's see what he has to say for himself. He might have some new information for us. You never know. Well, where is he? Oh. You okay there? He looks a little roughed up. Ah, you're back. Inspector, what happened to you? Your face is... Please, don't worry about it. They're just scratches. Yes. Sure. Made by a bear, maybe. When I told the captain I'd given you permission to investigate, he told me he'd pummel me with his fists, then toss me overboard. What? But the pummeling was over in a flash, and he must have decided against throwing me overboard. So it was nothing, really. Looks like he wasn't joking when he said he'd lay his life on the line if he had to. Well, thanks to your efforts, we now know a little about the neighboring cabin. Yes, so I understand. Oh. I bumped into a man claiming to be a great detective a little while ago. I think his name was something like Sherlock Holmes. I don't think he was German, though. That explains it. Shall we compare notes, then? We can tell you what we found out. Yes, let's do it. Okay, so let's tell them all about it. What? Nikolina Pavlova? She's in the cabin next door? Oh, do you know who she is? Please, what self-respecting ballet fan wouldn't know that graceful angel? I wouldn't have taken you for the type. Oops, I think I upset him there. Well, that tells us the neighboring cabin is unrelated to the case at least. Oh? How? Because angels don't go around committing crimes, do they? Okay, he's a little biased there. Oops, now I've definitely upset him. Inspector, has your investigation here proved fruitful? If I'm honest, there's very little more I can do. Our duty is to make sure the scene isn't disturbed, ready to hand over to the Hong Kong police. So I'm just keeping watch here, trying not to take my eyes off the job. Oh, I see. There is one thing. I do have a small piece of new information for you. Oh, what? Yes, do tell us, Inspector, please. Alright, please, let us know. What is this new information you have, Inspector? It's this. The Burya's medical officer has finished his examination of the body. I managed to obtain the report. Oh, Cosmo's post-mortem report? Cosmo-sama. So what was the cause of death? Damage to the cervical vertebrae is what's written in the report. Which means his neck was broken? Yes, it would seem so. There were no obvious wounds or other signs of injury. So at first I think they were considering poison. But it turns out they found no trace of poison in his system at all. Well, what weapon was used then? Nothing has been found as yet. But the fact that there are no signs of a wound suggests it may have been a blunt object. Something that wouldn't leave a mark. Oh, I see. All the body's nerves run through the spine to the brain. A strong enough impact to the neck could induce death. It is a possibility, and no obvious wound will be left. Poor Kazuma. I have a second copy of the report. If it might be useful, you're welcome to have it. Really? Are you sure? Yes, it's fine. I trust you. Oh, well thank you, Inspector. After all, if I didn't trust you, I'd never have agreed to you leaving this cabin in the first place, would I? Ah. Well, we thank you for the vote of confidence. Anyways, tell us about Sherlock. Oh, Mr. Holmes was here, was he? Yes, he seemed to be enjoying himself a little too much as he crept about on the floor investigating. But then he suddenly left, and I suppose he must have become bored. Did he say anything at all? Actually, now that you mention it, yes. Just one thing, but he practically shouted it. It's shoe polish, was all he said. Shoe polish? I wonder what he meant. It was when he was over there, by the piece of broken glass, do you see? Perhaps he was talking about this brick-colored mark. Do you think? Yes, that must be it. But how can Mr. Holmes know that it's shoe polish? That leaves me cold, I'm afraid. I have no idea. What is it, Suzato-san? Well, Kazuma-sama was wearing leather shoes with a very dark tan hue. A dark tan? A sort of dark brownish red, then. Yes, a little like the color of red wine, but darker. I have to repair them for him. Oh, does this mean that this mark was made by the polish in Kazuma's shoes that they scuffed on the floor? It seems possible, but then why would that even be the case? The way I'm picturing it is like the top of his shoe rubbing against the floor. That would seem to be the only way that could happen, but then why would that be the case? I don't know. Well, apparently that's about it. That's really all I can tell you at this stage. I should return to my post. My fellow crewman's eyes are boring into the back of my head. Yes, that might be for the best. Thank you. Poor Inspector. You look exhausted. Oh, no. Well, I feel terrible that I failed to protect Aski-san. He was my responsibility. Of course, my pain is nothing compared to yours. You were his friends. The truth is, I seem to have had a heavy head ever since I woke this morning. A heavy head? That's interesting. My head's still throbbing too. And you know, it's not even just Naruhodo or the Inspector. I'm pretty sure Suzato has said something to that effect herself too. Look at the grill again. So this ventilator joins Miss Pavlova's cabin. Yes, that's right. And just a few minutes before he died, Cosmo saw something emerging from it. The speckled band, as he described it. If only Miss Pavlova had been able to shed some light on it, but she seemed as baffled as we are. Yes. I wonder if she's telling us everything now. I feel like she's not. She won't even tell us about her little pet that she brought with her. I'm not sure. I know most people aboard would say the same about me, but there was something about that woman that didn't sit right with me. Look at the message again, so it's clear that these letters were written with the ink that was somehow spilt on the floor, and they spelled the Russian word for wardrobe. It does seem to be an unambiguous pointer to you, Naruhodo-san, as you were sleeping in there. But to be truly unambiguous, it should have just spelt out my name, don't you think? Well, either way, one fact remains. It's hard to imagine that Kazuma-sama would have written his last words, or word, in Russian, which begs the question of who did write it. Oh, hold on. So yeah, let's look at this a little closer. It really is such a beautiful color, this glass. It looks like whatever it was is broken clean in two, but the other half is nowhere to be seen. And then there's the brick-colored mark, which is shoe polish, according to that great detective you seem to know all about. I suppose it must be from Kazuma-sama's shoes. Maybe, but what I'd like to know is, how can the detective be so sure that it's shoe polish and not something else? Because he's a great detective, of course. That's hardly a reason, is it? I would think not. What do you have to say? You! Where did you go? Oh, sorry, I just went to the net store cabin to investigate. Why? Who gave you permission for this? Well, Seaman Hosonaga did. That new Japanese, was it? Later, I will blow him into ball and throw him in cold room. He's gone back to guarding the door. Hope Inspector Hosonaga doesn't find himself in too much trouble on our account. He's really gone out of his way to help us, hasn't he? When we get back to Japan, we'll have to take him for a steak at Le Carnival. That could be a very long time from now, Naruhodo-san. Look at the desk again. This is where Cosmo spent his final moments, writing his diary. 1:23 a.m. Yeah, so just the journal entries again. Cosmo-sama left us a valuable clue in these words, I'm sure of it. We have to solve this mystery, Naruhodo-san. We will. We can look at this shelf. All the books provided for passengers occupying this cabin, neatly arranged on the shelf. They were all over the place when we first looked around, if you remember. Oh yes, and you tied them up, didn't you? You have to look after the ship's property. Unruly behavior in the cabin leads to damage. But it really wasn't me who knocked them over. Well, anyway, I feel much better now that they're neatly lined up. I can't relax when things are untidy. What's there to do now? I already talked to you. Well, I guess we can look at the tablecloth. There's nothing on this table at all. The plate and cutlery are all over the floor for some reason. Yes, it's strange. Last time when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still. Now wait a minute. What is it? That's funny. I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all. So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Cosmo-sama. No! I mean, there's the rules of passage again. Yeah, blah blah blah. Yeah, these are all things we've already discussed. Yeah. I'm almost certain that whatever it is, it's inside the traveling case in her cabin. Yeah, too bad we didn't get a chance to open it. Let's go back to the passageway. Oh, something has changed here. now, Haruto-san. Seaman Stroganoff is gone. Strong enough? The burly Russian sailor who's always crossing his arms and glaring at us? All these Russian names are impossible to remember. Oh no, what's this? Did you hear that? It sounded like someone singing. Okay. This caroling. I know that lark-like voice. Well, never mind that now. This is a golden opportunity for us. Yes, you're right. We must seize it. Let's get inside Miss Pavlova's cabin while we can and investigate. Definitely, before that Stringy Knot crewman comes back. It's Stroganoff, not Stringy Knot. Yeah, let's get in there. I see the traveling case is open. Miss Pavlova isn't back yet. Suzaru-san. Oh, where's she gone? Hey, what are you doing? Those are her private things. There's not a moment to waste now, Haruto-san. We must investigate as quickly as we can. I suppose you're right, for Cosmo's sake. Not just for Cosmo-sama. What do you mean? It can't be long now until we arrive at port in Hong Kong. I don't want you to be in those handcuffs when we get there. Are you starting to have a little confidence in me? Really? We must solve this case now, Haruto-san. By ourselves if we have to. Yes, we will. I think she's starting to believe in us. Because if so, thank you. No, Haruto-san, are you there? Sorry? I'm right here, yes. Why? Oh, good. I thought you might have climbed into the wardrobe when I wasn't looking. There's no place like home. Okay, it wouldn't let me investigate the bag, then? Believe me, I don't have some strange compulsion to jump inside every wardrobe I see, you know. Anyway, I'm not sure anyone could fit inside this one. It's full of beautiful outfits. I suppose they're all stage costumes. I was rather hoping we might find Miss Pavlova's friend hiding in there, but no such luck. Yeah, so these of course have fallen over too. All the boats are topped over together. Look, every single one. Do you think that's a god of the sea, perhaps? He's toppled too, though. It's exactly the same as the bookcase next door, and Cosmo's cabin. Perhaps Miss Pavlova was practicing a difficult ballet pose and fell against the bookcase. I don't know, would she really be practicing ballet on the same night she ran away from her ballet company? Alright then, it must have been you. You lost your temper and knocked them all over in a fit of rage? Not everything bad that happens on the ship is because of me, you know. Well, anyway, I'll set them all straight again in here too. I don't like seeing things in disarray. Alright, well, I've been delaying it long enough. The traveling case is open. Oh my, Miss Pavlova's case is open! It's completely empty inside. But according to the Great Detective's great deduction, she's hiding her special friend in there. Yes, a friend that she had to keep secret. Because you're not allowed to bring animals aboard the SS Burya. I wonder what kind of animal she had in there. And more to the point, where is it now? What's this doing down here? I wonder what this little saucer is doing on the floor. Yes, it doesn't look like it's been dropped. More like it was put there deliberately. What do you think? Do you think there could be a leak in the roof just above here? What, a leak? Is this ship quite safe? I'm sure that even if there's a little leak in the roof, it doesn't mean the whole ship is going to sink. No, you're right. Of course you're right. She's really trying to persuade herself, isn't she? Look in the trash can. I suppose that every cabin has its waste paper basket. Shall we have a little look and see what's been thrown away? Naruhodo-san. It's poor etiquette to go sifting through someone's rubbish, you know. Ugh, those eyes. She's looking at me like I'm a piece of rubbish now. However, these are special circumstances, I think. Exactly, we have no choice. There's hardly anything in here at all. Oh, well, that's a little disappointing. Okay, well that did not work out. It would seem this teapot is empty. So the natural conclusion is that the Russians are a very thirsty people. Or, because Miss Pavlova only came into this cabin last night, she hasn't had the chance to make any tea yet? I mean, it could be either. It's definitely that they're excessively thirsty. I'd lay 1,000 to 1 on it. You're rather obstinate, aren't you, Naruhodo-san? Well, there's a ventilator grill. Yep, we've established this. Yeah. Although, what a fool a shipbuilder must be to open a ventilator into another room. Yeah, I don't get that. Maybe it's so that there's a gas leak next door. The occupant of this cabin would notice and raise the alarm. Or the occupants of both cabins would die of gas poisoning. That is a possibility. Anyway, last night, Cosmo wrote that he saw a speckled band coming out of this ventilator. Here's an idea. Why don't we just take the grill off and have a look in there? With the desk. There's a few books on the desk. Nothing else by the looks of it. Well, Miss Pavlova only ran away from the ballet last night. She's hardly occupied this cabin for any time at all. That's true. I wonder what kind of book she likes to read. Let me see. Yes, I see. It would seem that Miss Pavlova enjoys reading. Books written in Russian. No kidding! Thanks, I think I probably already knew that. It's rude to ask too much of people, Naruhodo-san. Kindly remember that. We can look at the door. This cabin door has the same... This cabin door has... Let me try this again. This cabin door has the same simple sort of bolted latch that our cabin door has. If the bolt's drawn across, there's no way anybody could enter the cabin from outside. Yes, it's not a particularly heavy-duty bolt, is it? But still, it wouldn't slide across of its own accord, would it? No, the door is made of metal, so there's no chance of trickery using magnets to unbolt from the outside. And it seals up perfectly, too, to stop any seawater from coming in. So you couldn't use the method you told me of passing a thread through a crack around the closed door, either. I seem to know a lot of tricks for opening doors. I'm starting to see why they suspect me. Yeah, why do you know so many? And there was a passage again. Yeah, we are quite familiar with these. Very much. Yeah. I just hope Seaman Stroganoff doesn't find it and throw it overboard. Yeah, that... I think Miss Pavlova would be a little pissed about that. Oh yes, so do I. I mean, there's this to investigate too. There's one of these next to the bed in Cosmo's cabin too. Yes, it's a bell cord. I can't resist. Oh no. She barely hesitated there, and she gave it a good tug, too. No, I didn't actually expect anyone to come. We don't want them to. We're trying to investigate in secret. Well, dang, what's left to investigate in here? I don't know what else I can investigate. Well, Cesar is saying we should come back in here, so let's do that. Or what? Yeah. Oh, hello. How did I miss you? Oh, it's Mr. Holmes, look. Wow, you never know where he's gonna turn up next, do you? He seems to be stealing a look at something as he sings to himself. Yeah, we'll just let him sing to himself. I'm not gonna say any of that. He's still singing. Do you think he hasn't noticed us? Or he's simply in extremely high spirits? Excuse me. Yeah, so he's doing his own version of I did it my way. Well, it's just called My Way. Mr. Holmes? Ah! What is it? You want to fight? Honestly, interrupting a fellow when he's singing, and just when I was about to reach a climactic finish. Sorry, I thought you were never going to stop, so I figured now is as good a time as any. I very nearly dropped you to the floor with one of my famous right hooks. Alright, I get the picture. Now could you put those fists away? Mr. Holmes, you seem to be examining something before we interrupted you. Ah, yes, that. I was immersed in study of the ship's log, as penned by the stockily built crewman who's usually on guard here. Oh, yes, the ship's log. And did you find out anything useful from it? Well, after 2 a.m. this morning, the majority of the entries are blank. Which means there was nothing to report. Nothing of note happened, so... You truly are a student from the land of the rising sun. You've been utterly blinded by it. Sorry? Your logic, my boy, is inverted. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Holmes? Observe the other pages, and all shall become clear. It would seem the same crewman oft stands sentry in this first-class passageway, and he has an almost religious practice of recording nothing to report every half hour. Oh, he writes that in every 30 minutes? Nothing to report? Precisely. Put simply, the seaman writes nothing to report when there is just that. And yet, the ship's log from last night is largely blank. He didn't even write nothing to report. Do you mean? Yes, there were circumstances afoot last night which led to the seaman being absent from his post. What kind of circumstances? What happened? That remains a mystery for now, but we can be sure something significant took place. So significant that it caused the seaman to forget his regular habit of scribing nothing to report in the log. These are important details. I would stake my life on it. You must log the ship's log into your mental file. Alright, we'll do that. Now that deduction was worthy of a great detective. You're starting to understand what my way is, I see. What makes Holmes Holmes brilliant. Oh, ouch. What is it? Are you hurt? Oh, don't worry yourself. I seem to be afflicted with a throbbing head this morning for some reason, nothing more. That's 4 people now. Well, my friends, until our next encounter. He's still singing to himself. I can hear as he wanders off down the passageway. Is something wrong, Suzaru-san? You seem lost in thought. It's just... well, I feel the same. Sorry? Ever since I woke this morning, I've had something of a headache. A sort of continuous throbbing. Oh, you too? Yeah, she said something to that effect earlier, I think. Okay, can we go back in here? Uh-oh. Ah, what's that? Uh-oh. Oh no, what's going on now? Shut down the engines immediately! The vessel's headed a quarter mile forward. Full stop, hard to starboard, all hands blaze for impact! What the? I think we're about to crash into another ship. What? I can't stand. Suzaru-san, hold on to me. Uh-oh. Suzaru-san, are you alright? Are you injured at all? I think I'm fine. Thank you, Naruhodo-san. Looks like we avoided a collision. I think... yes, the ship has come to a stop. Oh my goodness, what about you, Naruhodo-san? Are you hurt? No, I'm fine. Hello? Is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like... Inspector Hosonaga? So you in there, Naruhodo-san? Unbolt the door, quickly! What? The bolt? Yeah, we didn't shut that. Look at that. The door's bolted. Did you do that, Suzaru-san? No, I didn't touch it. Well, that's strange. How did... And look at all the books. They're falling over again. They're just like they were before again. Naruhodo-san, are you going to open the door and let the inspector in? I'd better tidy this place up first. Yeah. Our violent emergency stop had solved one mystery, at least, in a very vivid way. But I knew that what awaited us on the other side of the cabin door would not be pleasant. I hurried around tidying up the cabin with a new sense of foreboding in my heart. Ah, to be continued. And that seems to me like a good place to stop the part today. So, next time on The Great Ace Attorney, we'll see what awaits us on the other side of the cabin door. Well, it'll be Inspector Hosonaga, but I wonder if it'll be something else, too. Alright, see you guys then. Take care, everybody.